Thanks, everybody. Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Ricky Camilleri. Bert Kreischer is known for oversharing, and not in the typical comedian way where the stories seem embellished and untrue, but in the way that his stories usually end with how his family has been responding to him telling them publicly. His new special, Secret Time, now on Netflix, is no different, and fortunately for no one, he's shirtless for the whole thing. Take a look.
We're just getting drunk and telling secrets. Secret time, when my wife has an orgasm, she looks like Elvis. Whatever your mom said's fine, but this is your dad talking now. When it comes to drugs, just take half. Yeah. I wake up, I'm like, oh fuck. I grab 2 Diet Cokes, go to the parent-teacher conference, sit down, crack my Diet Coke, take a sip, and realize I have a Coors Light. That is a game time decision. Survey says, hey! We went ziplining, the whole family. The first rule of ziplining is, when in doubt, spread them out. George is like, Isla, that's our new catchphrase. When in doubt, spread them out. I'm like, no, it's fucking not. I am not sending you two to high school, the old when in doubt, spread them out, girls.
Everybody, please welcome the hilarious Bert Kreischer.
Thank you so much.
Sir.
Yes.
Thanks so much for being here.
This is my old stomping ground. This building, I used to come here, get high, and walk around for hours.
Because it was the Tower Records.
Tower Records, yeah.
It was just an abandoned building that you would walk around high in.
I worked at the Barnes & Noble over there. I was just telling them backstage, the Barnes & Noble at Astor Place, I got fired for working out in the basement in my underwear.
Wait, you like working out like doing physical workouts?
Yeah. I mean, like prison workouts.
Right. Why?
Because you could take if you took the freight elevator down to the basement, then you had the basement. No one could come in on you because you had the freight elevator. So everyone would go down there. There's this gay guy. He'd go down there and get high. I get high with him sometimes. And then one day I was down there. I was like, I should get in shape. And I was taking diet fuel. That was like our rip fuel. And so I just took all my clothes off because there was no AC. I started banging out push-ups and taking the Bible, doing forearm raises. And then like 2 weeks later, my manager, Dwayne, was like, hey, man, you've been going to the basement a lot. I was like, yeah. He's like, you know we have cameras everywhere. And I was like, no, I didn't know that. And he's like, you're fired.
And he was like, look, going down there and getting high, that's fine. Going down there and bettering yourself, no good.
What had happened was there was a sign on these double doors in the basement that said, to whomever's urinating on these doors, please stop. There's offices on the other side. I remember it showing up and going, so someone comes down here to pee on those doors. And so I guess that had happened, so that's why they started looking down there, and then no one peed, and I'm there, and they're like, it must have been him. So, yeah.
Just doing push-ups, sit-ups, yeah.
Just getting yoked.
So, Secret Time. You are in this special telling secrets, and you start right out of the gate with, I imagine, a secret your wife probably doesn't want you sharing, which is how she gives you oral sex.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember much of the special. Oh, yeah, I think she's gagging for the wrong reason. Just, thank you, ma'am. One person's listening to me. It's a great joke. Where are you guys at? Yeah.
Any gag noise is great. Like, you should be laughing at a gag noise no matter what.
Yeah. It was, I don't know any other way to do stand-up other than just tell the truth about everything in your life. And I think I've always done that. When you do the road, there's no harm, no foul, because no one's going to text your wife and be like, yo, he's talking about you naked. Right. And so when you go to do a special, you don't even think about it. You're like, oh, crap, I'm telling all these things about, I call my daughters idiots. Like, I would literally go through and just all our laundry out, and then I was like, I just call it Secret Time, and then just trust no one tells my family.
Do you warn her after you tape it? Did you warn her before or warn the family?
Before, I kind of had to go up to everyone and be like, I told my daughters, I was like, I call you guys morons, like a couple times. Like I told Georgia, my oldest, I said, just so you know.
How old is she?
She's 14 now. She was 13 when I did it, and she had just found out there was no Santa Claus at 13. Which could be embarrassing when her friends find out, like, well, in 8th grade, you found out there was no Santa Claus. So I had to clear everything with everyone. And everyone was cool. I mean, I think they get it. And I
remember when I was in 8th grade or 7th grade and meeting another kid who still believed in Santa Claus, and the hazing that went into that kid when everybody found out that this one kid still believed. It was punishment time.
Yeah, and you set them up for ridicule a tad bit, but they have a good group of friends. We're good parents. I mean, kind of.
You're not ridiculing them or hazing them.
A little bit. I mean, gently, you know? But yeah, everyone was cool with everything. My wife's been a gamer since, I mean, I talked about her giving birth on my first special, and I talked about her, can I curse on here? Yeah. Her shitting in front of like a bunch of strangers. I was like, I wasn't ready for that. I'm looking south of the gurney. All of a sudden, my wife starts growing a tail. And my wife's like, oh my God, everyone's gonna know that. And you're like, yeah, that's how it works, I guess, you know? I wish I was a clever comic who could be like write puns and stuff, but I'm just good at stories and I draw the stories from my life. And
did you ever try, when you started doing stand-up, did you ever try to be that kind of comic and it just didn't work out?
I wrote a joke in this building, what if Papa Smurf's middle name was Boner?
I don't even want to know the punchline, man.
Papa Boner, Smurf. It was the dumbest, that's how good I was at that horrible setup punch. I just was bad at it. And then one night I got on stage over on West 3rd and someone's like, you ever do drugs? And I just was like, yeah. And the audience connected with me. And then I just told a story, never written it, about taking acid and going to Disneyland with my two friends, Hutch and Harper. And I was just honest. I did not.
How much acid?
We took one tab of Purple Jesus. Each. We bought it from our drug dealer, Cheetah, real name, by the way. And when he bought it, he said, this is just all true. He said, don't think any bad thoughts while you're on it. And Hutch goes, what's a bad thought? Cheetah's like, your head's an orange and you want to peel it. That's a bad thought. I was like, I would have never thought of that in a million fucking years. Like, don't share that again. And then all of a sudden, all the bat were just, son of a bitch, get it off. So I just told the story like it really happened. My buddy Harper is stupid. He misspelled his name one time. Happer, 2 P's, no R. He was like, I go, oh, you misspelled your name. He's like, oh, it happens. I go, no, it doesn't. I've never been in a rush like, catch you later, Burf. And so I found that telling these stories exactly like they had happened to me and you know, pulling from your life, that was the best way for me to connect.
I wonder if that's even, you know, oftentimes the thing that I not worry about, but I don't envy about stand-up comedians is that the audience, more so than I think any other art form, feels extremely close to the stand-up comedian. They relate to them. They feel like those stories are speaking to them very personally. And when you are a regular stand-up doing set-up punchline, there's a bit of a distance there. With you just telling personal stories, do you feel like you have a connection to your audience and your fans that is a bit more personal seeming than other comics?
Yeah, I tell way too much. Like, Isla's dyslexic. I talked about that in my second special. And I have parents coming up and going, yo, check this out. Brian Koppelman, he's like he hit me up and goes, hey, my daughter's dyslexic. Check
this is the guy who created Billions, yeah.
He heard me talk about it and he was like, hey man, check out these books. It's a weird connection. And with podcasting, it's like now they know everything about you. And when I call my kids stupid and I go, Isla's like a special kind of stupid, and I tell stories about her, other parents are like, just come up to me like, yo, I got an Isla. Like one of those lunatic kids. I mean, she woke, it's true, but in the special I talk about eating edible marijuana and over-serving myself. And then being in bed, like, I don't know how to breathe. Like, my brain's having independent inquiries. Like, am I supposed to remind you to breathe? And Isla comes into the room, true story, comes into the room and goes, 2 a.m, goes, hey, Dad, you believe in time travel? But that's this kid's brain. And there are parents out there that got a kid like this. And when you share intimate stories about your family, they connect on that kind of level, you know?
How much was overeating the edibles? Like, what is the appropriate amount? What is overeating? I've never been able to find the appropriate amount.
It was goldfish, and I took a handful, and I popped a handful, and I called my sisters, and I said, how many goldfish am I supposed to eat when I started losing it? And they were like 1 or 2. And I went, I just had a handful. And they're like, oh, I'd turn on a good movie or something. And then like, this is going to be a long day. And I literally like weirded out hard and thought I laid in bed thinking I was dying. With Jack Daniels trying to chase the buzz away.
Just a child going, time travel.
Well, the joke is, not even joking, she goes, Dad, do you believe in time travel? And by the way, I do believe in time travel. And I'm higher than giraffe pussy. I'm like, fuck yeah, I believe in time travel. She goes, would it be possible for me to come back from the future to tell myself a secret? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's how it starts. Yeah, I'm like, mind fucking blown. I'm high as shit. This is a great time to talk about this. I go, yes, baby, why? And she goes, that's all I need to know. Good night, and leaves. And leaves me spiraling, envisioning that there's a 30-year-old version of my daughter in her bedroom going, what did he say? And so when that happened, now I'm still really high. I'm really in a bad place, but I'm going, this is a bit. Like, in my head, I'm like, this is a bit. And then I spiraled out, and I woke up. I wrote it in my phone on a text, and I was like, oh, I got to. And interesting enough, that had happened a long time ago, and I tried to shovel it into my second special, and it didn't fit. It didn't work. And then this special, there was a joke about Isla keeps her deodorant in the refrigerator, and so just exactly right. And so
I've heard about that. I've heard people do that.
oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a thing.
Oh, but what's weird is that I walked in on her one morning at like 7 in the morning. She opens the refrigerator door, takes her deodorant out, takes the top off, swipes her finger across it, rubs it above her lip, cap on in the door, shuts it, and I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, not a thing.
And she's just like, mind your own business, and walks away, right? So then when I figured out that time travel bit, and it worked in there, I tagged it, and this is what I love about stand-up, and this is, I guess, what you would argue is my joke writing, if I have any, is we go back to the 30-year-old version of my daughter in her bedroom going, what did he say? I told you I was real. Listen, we got a busy night. Dad's going to die. He's had too much marijuana. We're going to save his life. First, I need you to get your deodorant and put it in the refrigerator. Time travel smells like shit. We're going to rub it under our noses. And so that's where, and when you get, I can tell you where I was when that happened, in Calgary, and it all worked together, and I was like, and they applauded, and I went, oh, shit, that's how it works. Like,
but isn't that that is stand up? I mean,
yeah.
coming up with the end of that, or coming up with the other character that she's talking to and embellishing it, then it becomes a stand up routine.
That's the joke writing for me in a story, and not to tip the hat of too much of how a story works for me, but I believe you need a great intro, you need a great end, and I think sometimes to get to your great end, if you plant a sapling in the middle of the story, like the deodorant, you can harvest that at the very end, and that can be your tag out. And so, like with probably my most famous story is the Russian Mafia. For those of you who don't know, I got involved with the Russian Mafia when I was 22 and we robbed a train. And so I didn't have a great end to that story. It ended with the cops saying...
You lived.
yeah, with the cops saying, tonight you party with us. That's how it really ended. And then one day in Columbus, I can tell you where I was when these things happened. In Columbus, the gangster takes the vodka. If you're familiar with the story, this would make sense. If you're not, I apologize.
Do you mind familiarizing some of us with it?
Yeah, of course. I got involved with the Russian Mafia. And so I was 22. I took some Russian classes at Florida State. I was not a good student. I took 4 semesters, never learned the language. And a Russian 4 teacher says, if you want to go to Russia, you'll get a minor. I was like, by the way, I did not learn any of the language. Russian 4 was taught in Russian. I knew nothing. I was like sitting there like an immigrant at the DMV every day, just like, so we go to Russia. This is 1995. The mob runs everything, and they tell us, they go, listen, we've paid off the mafia to keep you safe. So in exchange for our money, they give us 2 young gangsters, who, for that in Russian, is banditi. They go, these are the banditi, are going to live with you. They're going to walk you to class, walk you back from class, take you on field trips. Don't speak to them. They're in the mafia. And I'm like, they're going to be my best fucking friends. So the first night, I grabbed a bottle of vodka and a 6-pack of Baltica, and I planned a sentence. I was going to say, Здравствуйте, меня зовут Bert, очень приятно, я работаю кошка, right? Doesn't matter. The second the door opens, and I'm face to face with a real Russian gangster with the wife beater and the tattoos, with the track pants and the cigarette. And he just looks. I was wearing a fanny pack, by the way. This is back when those were cool as shit. And
no, never.
I swear to God, you know what I had in it? I swear to God, I had a lemon, pocket knife, and sugar, because we were gonna do lemon drops. He just goes, "Shto!" I panicked, and I just said to him in Russian in his doorway, "I'm the machine." And he started laughing hysterically. Brings me in. I party with a bunch of Russian gangsters. We spend all summer together. And then one night, the whole class takes an overnight train trip to Moscow. And my gangster, Igor, the guy I met in the door, says he can't go. New mob runs a train. New mob runs Moscow. He's like, don't worry. I set up the new banditi on the train. They'll take care of you. Introduces me to him. He's like, their names are Igor and Igor. And he's like, guys, this is the machine. If you give the machine vodka, you'll have a great time. And the big Igor's like, I can't wait to play with the machine. And like, we go into first class, and it is pimped out. There's booze, there's food, and here's the real gangster part. Second the train takes off at the station, everyone that works on the train comes in to pay their respects. The fucking conductor walked in. I swear, rips off the stars and stripes to his shirt, places them on my lap, and goes, this is a present for the machine. It would be an honor to do a shot of vodka with the machine. I am 22 years old thinking, oh, these machine stories might have gotten out of control. We drink all the booze in an hour, go to the bar cart. Big Igor tells me in Russian, he goes, machine, go behind the bar and grab bread in Russian, chleb. And I understood him. For a second, I'm like, I'm learning. I'm learning the language my way, not through flashcards and textbooks, but by joining the mafia.
Gangsters.
Yeah, through gangsters. Immersion. I'm like, Igor, I know what you said. He's like, go for you, machine. Can you find cheese? And I was like, Sir, cheese, give me another one. And he's like, grab vodka. I was like, I already know that one. Give me another one. And he's like, grab the money. I'm like, huh? He's like, grab the fucking money. And I realized at that instant, we're robbing the bar cart. And so I grab the money, I walk out, we go back to first class, and within 5 minutes, the head chaperone of this train trip, not the whole trip, just this train trip, she was an English teacher who did not speak Russian. She swings our first class cabin door open with that like liberal arts confidence, and she's like, that's the first time she laughed. She goes, this is over. You're done, mister. Get up right now. How dare you? How dare you? Big Igor looks at me confused, takes a big sip of vodka, spits it in her eyes, and goes, no one talks to the machine like that. Shuts the door in her face and goes, fuck that bitch. This is Russia. Don't worry, machine, when it gets dark, we have good time. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing when it gets dark? Reaches in his pocket, pulls out a ring of keys, and he goes, we're robbing the whole fucking train. Now, now this is a little backstory of the story. I posted that on like Facebook like 2 years ago. I didn't think anyone was gonna see it. I was like, whatever. First day, 20,000 people. I'm like, eh. Next day, 3 million.
Russian trolls just retweeting it.
Next day, 3 million people. I was like, oh, that seems like a lot. Next day, 9 million. And I'm like, whoa, what happened? What had happened is when you shared the story, in the comments, the first 5 comments showed up. One of the 5 comments was this woman. I won't share her name, but a woman who I know who lives in Minnesota. And her comment said, I was in Bert's Russian class. I was on this trip. This story is 100% true. He fucking robbed us. And then she tagged everyone in my class. You couldn't pay for that kind of marketing. And so, yeah, we robbed them. We robbed the whole train. While they slept, we robbed my class. We robbed the whole train. And then we went back and we drank hard as fuck. We drank until 6 in the morning. We pull into Moscow, wasted. Train stops, sun's up, door opens, same teacher, not mad. Curious, right? Looks at me and goes, I want to be the one to tell you they've alerted the police. And I look out, and I see my whole class in their pajamas, upset, talking to 2 cops. They're upset. They've been robbed. I get it. Igor sees this and is completely unfazed. He's like, don't worry, I speak to police for both of us. Walks out to the cop who's taking a statement, right? Taking a statement, grabs him by the arm, spins him around and just starts going, fuck you. We fuck you in the mouth. We fuck you in the ass. I'm like, stop with the fucking we shit. Now the cop's staring at me and I hear him just bark out, which I don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound like, you're okay, stay there. I walk to the cop, right? Who's standing in front of the class I just robbed. Next to the gangster I robbed them with. All I'm thinking is, this isn't how I plan on spending my second junior year. I get 5 steps from the cop rushes up to me, grabs my arm, spins me away from my class, away from Igor, gets right in my face, and he goes, so, I understand you're the machine, huh? Nice, tonight you party with us. And I was like, wait, I'm not in trouble? And he gets so close to me, I can smell his morning cigarette, and he goes, no, fuck that bitch, this is Russia. That's the sapling I harvested. I messed up, and I just said it in the middle of that story one night in Columbus, and I went, oh, that's the tag out. Fuck that bitch, this is Russia. That's how I write a joke.
So wait, but all of those things did have even the final tag out, or was the final tag out something a way to tag out the story?
Final tag out. To be dead honest with you, I was pretty fucking hammered. There's
been like bye.
No, I remember he did say to me, so I understand you're the machine, and I was like, huh? And he was like, tonight you party with us. That's all I really remember truthfully of the story is him saying that. But it didn't tag out. It didn't hammer it the way I wanted to. I wanted people to know the story is now over. Yeah. There's no more to it. And one night in Columbus, and they had a little tree on the stage, a little like fake tree. One night in Columbus, when Igor spit the vodka in her face, he did say, fuck that bitch, this is Russia. He did say that. And then I'd always just meandered on in that part, something about, I don't know. And then that night I said that, and I saw that tree, and I went, I planted that. I get to pick it at the end of the story. Oh my God, I got so excited. Yeah. I mean, I remember where I was looking when I said it. Like, it's just. I mean, that's what I love about stand-up.
What people love about writing. That's the best part about writing. Yeah. When you write fiction or you tell stories and you find those moments. You can remember where you were when you found that moment. You want to tell everybody in your life that you found this thing that they're like, okay, I don't care. Show it to me when it's done. And you're like,
oh,
yeah.
I get so excited.
No, but I figured it out.
Yeah. Oh, and I think the older I'm getting, the better I'm getting at it. But like I have a story right now that might be the best story I've ever told, the best joke I've ever written, best story I've ever told, and it ends perfectly. But it's like and then you go shit. How do I get all my other stories like that? But like I'm so excited for this one that I just want to you want to go on stage and tell it every night. You want to you're so excited. Then you're like. And you call on Netflix, you're like, oh, Robbie, I want another special, man. I got another joke. I'm telling you. If I put it at 28 minutes, that's what the algorithm says when everyone turns, they're going to stick around. Like, your brain goes crazy.
Sorry, hold on one second. Does that mean that now that you have this perfect joke or this one that you feel is perfect or the best one, does that make you more of a perfectionist with the others? Is that what you're saying?
I'm the laziest writer you'll ever meet in your life. Like, I legit.
Every comedian says that.
I know, but I get something up and running, and I'm like, all right, we're good. Like, it's almost like plate spinning, But this joke was just perfect. I was obsessed with Norm Macdonald's old school joke writing. Like when you go, guy moved into my neighborhood. It's the best, right? I was obsessed with it, and
he still does it. It's the best.
Yeah. And so I'm obviously not going to tell the joke here, but only because I would like to put it on a special. But it happened the day that those two black kids got arrested at Starbucks. It happened that day, and I went in to get a coffee. So all of a sudden, guy walks into a bar, guy walks into a Starbucks. I had 3 times in it. It happened 3 days. I was there for 3 days. Happened 3 times. It was just perfect. It was perfect. It was perfect. Like I can't. People go, oh, I've never been happier than the birth of my first child, and I go, I don't know. When I tagged this joke, I don't know if I had that instant I was shaking. And I went out with a Starbucks napkin, just going, and then you're like, I can't wait to tell it. And then you tell it one time it works, and then you tell it another time it works, and then you mess it up drunk one night on stage, and it works better, and you're like, oh, shit, yeah. But yeah.
Let's get some questions from the audience. Who has a question?
Hi.
Right here.
First of all, I wanted to say that I love your kind of comedy, honesty, and your raw. What inspired you, or who inspired you to know, was it for you, this is what you wanted to do, this is your niche? Like, how did you know?
This is going to sound almost unbelievable, and I should preface it by saying I am the luckiest human you'll ever meet. No joke, no joke. Like, I make white privilege look like a hate crime. Like, I am that lucky. I got discovered in 1997 by Rolling Stone magazine. They wrote a 6.5-page article about me, calling me the #1 party animal in the country. So I went to school for almost 7 years, never studied, never did anything. And then Rolling Stone called me the #1 party animal. Oliver Stone optioned the rights to my life. And a radio station said, you should try stand-up. I had said I wanted to do stand-up. All my friends had always said I was funny. And I tried stand-up. I did 30 minutes, and it went well. And I went, fuck it, I'll move to New York. I moved to New York, got a job at Barnes & Noble. Worked on West 3rd in between Thompson and Sullivan at a place called the Boston Comedy Club, and 6 months later, Will Smith discovered me.
Wow.
And I moved to LA, developed a sitcom with him, developed another sitcom, had a TV show, and I'm just extremely lucky. Like not even joking. I think I'm talented. I'm definitely more lucky than I am talented.
That's amazing.
Oh, it's amazing. Amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I say hang out with me, and I'm not even joking. My wife is we grew up poor in a trailer park, and when she met me, I was like, your luck's about to change, bitch.
You done lucked out.
Well, so Oliver Stone optioned the rights to your life, and is that the movie that is that what ended up becoming Van Wilder?
I guess. I don't know. I mean,
right.
I had nothing to do with the movie.
No, I know that.
I was, the stories I've been told from National Lampoon and from, I think, the production company that made the movie was, a bunch of people wrote scripts, and then the scripts got optioned, and then the option fell apart, and one guy came back, and I guess he kept my friends' names in the movie. My buddy Hutch is one of the characters, but yeah, I had nothing to do with it, so I don't really know everything, and technically, I've never even seen the movie. I'll see it. Yeah, I'll see it when Ryan Reynolds wants to watch it, and we can watch it on my podcast. I'll in a heartbeat. I'll fly out to him, right? I'll like.
You offered that? Have you tried to make that happen? I
had a meeting with his production company to do a sitcom, and they asked me if they had my book on the table, and they're like, have you ever seen the movie? I said, no. And they're like, why? And I was like, I don't know. Because there was a period where I would like almost promote that, when I was younger and I was trying to sell tickets. And I didn't ever want to see the movie and then go, oh, that has nothing to do with my life. And then I felt like a liar, so I just never watched the movie. And then it got to a point where I never watched the movie, and then they were like, you should watch it with Ryan. And I was like, can we take our shirts off? Like, okay. I'm going to get him so drunk. My kids are going to be in the room. I'm going to make him quote Deadpool. Are you kidding me? I love Ryan Reynolds. We're going to do 3 guys and girls in a pizza place. Oh, yeah.
You should just see the sequels. Like,
Yeah.
never see the original Van Wilder, which might be based on you. When people ask, just the sequels.
Yeah, Taj. Yeah. No.
It was the sequel, wasn't it? It was the
Yeah.
Real World guy.
When that movie came out, my agency at the time was ICM, and my manager, and I'll give him credit because it was the best advice I ever got. Barry Katz was on the call with my other managers, and they're all saying we need to sue National Lampoon. We need to sue, and well, you can make a big nut from this. And my manager, Barry Katz, said, Papa, there's 2 types of people in this business, people who work and people who sue. Pick which one you want to be.
Wow.
And I was working at the time, and I was like, well, I don't want to be, you know the story about Crispin Glover, like he sued the people from Back to the Future and then just stopped working because no one, like, they were afraid of him. You know, I think that's part of what the Me Too thing is everyone was afraid, in Hollywood, everyone's afraid to speak up. I understand that feeling, but... And
when you say afraid to speak up, you're talking about women who've been afraid to speak up for so many years.
Afraid to speak up. If you've been wronged in this business, it's almost like this business is a little bit like, hey, you know how to play ball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's...
In so many ways, in malicious as well as non-malicious ways, in ways of just like, is that actor going to be hardworking on set?
Yeah.
Right. We want to work with them, you know?
Is he going to be easy to work with? Is he going to be on drugs?
Yeah.
Is he going to be hitting on women? Like, it's just a lot of this. But you know, I'm very grateful I didn't sue. I had the opportunity to develop a sitcom with Ryan Reynolds' company. It didn't go anywhere, but I remember walking out of that meeting and going, man, thank God I didn't. Thank God I just kept working. Yeah. Thank God I just kept working, because now I think arguably I am bigger than that movie, meaning like my machine story. I'm known for more than that. I'm not known as that. I would have been a one-trick pony, and trust me when I tell you, I would have fit into that one-trick pony deal very comfortably. Like, I would have been the one guy that, like, at bars, they're like, ladies and gentlemen, he's the real Van Wilder. He did stand-up for 3 years in New York, but we found him and we brought him. He's 50 years old and he does body shots. And I'd be ripping my shirt off the way I still do. Who wants some? Yeah, that's my personality. I'm a meathead through and through.
It sounds like a cutaway joke in 30 Rock or something.
Yeah.
Like that would be the extent of your life, is a cutaway joke.
Oh,
30
easily,
Rock.
easily. I would have wanted it. I would have been very... Look, any single one of us would be the Ronald McDonald their lives for $5 million. Yeah. Like, you know, like, oh man, I love your hair. Can we make you the poster boy of that haircut? And you'd be like, how much? $5 million. You're like, done. And then they're like, walk around. You got to wear shirts of yours. I mean, that's just part of, you know, so...
Next question. I think it's our last question. This is the last one.
Sorry, I'm long-winded.
Hi. I'm just curious, what inspired the choice to do stand-up shirtless?
I have a great physique, number one. No, I honestly, I get bummed.
You don't like it? Is that the...
What's fascinating about it is when I did that first special for Showtime with my shirt off, they were not fans. They did not like the shirtless thing, and they wanted me to wear a shirt, and I did it with my shirt off, and no one technically watched it. Like, on Showtime, it didn't, like, blow the numbers up. It was, like, okay. But when that machine story went viral, I was branded as the shirtless guy, and then all of a sudden, people would see me with my shirt off, like, oh, I know that guy. Like, it's almost like I wore the same outfit, you know, every time. I was on the road, and I would get depressed I mean, not like real depressed, but like regular, miss my family depressed. And on Thursdays, I knew I had a long week ahead of me, and I would rip my shirt off and kill a beer to start the show. Thursdays, one show, you can do it with a buzz. I'd rip my shirt off, and everyone would cheer and laugh, and then I'd put it back on, and whatever. And then one night, I ripped my shirt off, and I forgot to put it back on. And then like halfway through the show, I go, oh, and I went to get my shirt, and this woman just goes, please keep it off. And I was like, really? And she goes, yeah, just keep it off. It's great. I love it. And so I did the whole show with my shirt off, and everyone there was like, I mean, even like people walking out, and I wasn't like famous or anything. They were like, man, I couldn't do one joke with a shirt off, let alone a whole show. And then one guy was like, I forgot you had your shirt off. He was like, your stories are so good. I forgot you had your shirt off. So in my head, I was like, oh, when I put the shirt back on, I'll be bringing thunder. But then I go to shoot the special, and I'm like, I've never worn a shirt on stage in like 7 years. I can't wear my first shirt now. And then when I did the special for Netflix, they're like, your shirt will be off, right? I mean, the whole branding around it is like shirtless. It's almost like Ali Wong's pregnant belly, but on a man, you know? And so, but now I'll be like a 55-year-old man taking my shirt off. Like,
that I'm excited for. That sounds amazing. I want to see the 65-year-old stand up that gets up and takes his shirt off.
Hey, thank you guys for coming out to Morongo.
Gets like a back issue in the middle of trying to take it off. Bert, it's been fun, man. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Secret Time is on Netflix now, as well as you have another special on Netflix as well.
My first special, The Machine, where I tell the Machine story, will be added to Netflix, I think, in a month or so. Right. And then this one's streaming right now, and I'm super proud of it. Check it out.
Follow you on Twitter. Look at your website. I'm sure you're doing stand-up stuff.
My Instagram's blowing up, son. Dude, I love Insta stories. I'm like my daughters tell me to stop. My daughters are 14 and 12. They're like, Dad, not everything has to be recorded. And I'm like, it pays the bills, bitches.
Bert Kreischer, everybody. Let's hear it.
Thank you.